Hello everyone and welcome along to the British Champion Series preview of Glorious Goodwood. 5 days of great racing on a really picturesque track in Sussex. Lots to look forward to, but before we get into our preview of Glorious Goodwood, let's reflect on the latest series of races from Newmarket's July meeting.
And they're off and racing for the Etihad Airways Falmouth Stakes. So now, we're getting towards the business end. Can Elusive Kate run the finish out of Sky Lantern? Richard Hughes still just trying to hold his 3-year-old filly together. In third place is Giofra. Elusive Kate's now going for everything, hanging off the rails. Sky Lantern taking a while to get by. Elusive Kate struggling to run straight, carrying Sky Lantern towards the centre. Furlong and Giofra. Elusive Kate continues to be in front from Sky Lantern. Elusive Kate's carried Sky Lantern over on the far side, but he's holding her at the line. It is Elusive Kate. They jump away for the Dali July Cup, and Lethal Force and Hamza are the two that are cutting out the running. Furlong and a half to go. Lethal Force again making the best of his way home. Society Rock, Sham Express, Gale Force 10. Shay is now out in the clear. It's Lethal Force who leads. Society Rock, Slave Power and Shay. In pursuit, Soul Power angling out for a last challenge. It's Lethal Force, however, who is keeping going again. Lethal Force from Society Rock, Shay and Slave Power. Dali July Cup for Lethal Force.
So it was Elusive Kate that got the better of the 3-year-old Sky Lantern in the Falmouth, but there was controversial surroundings because the connections of Elusive Kate and Sky Lantern headed into the steward's room. A lengthy steward's inquiry into the running and riding of that race as Elusive Kate once again tacked over to the left. Jockey William Buick on Elusive Kate and jockey Richard Hughes on the grey Sky Lantern had lengthy conversations with the stewards, but they decided on the day that Elusive Kate should keep the race. Then, in the aftermath, connections of Sky Lantern headed to London, appealing the outcome. But once again, it was Elusive Kate who was given the Group 1 Falmouth Stakes. And since then, she's gone on to win another Group 1 in France in the Prix Rothschild, following up her success in the same race 12 months ago. That's now 4 Group 1 wins to Elusive Kate's names. But it is still Sky Lantern that heads the standings. We can have a look at the standings now. Sky Lantern's on top with a score of 119. Elusive Kate has a score of 117. And the Epsom Oaks winner, Talent, who disappointed in the Irish Oaks, has a score of 114. So they are the British Champion Series rankings for fillies and mares. Recently, we had the running of the King George, one of the most prestigious races in the British racing calendar. And once again, the race headed to Germany.
They're off and racing. Universal moves to the lead in the King George with 3 furlongs to travel. Trading Leather poised for first crash. Novelist travelling up well for Germany. Then Cirrus de Vega for France. Behind these hills start. Very nice name comes next. Out in front, Trading Leather moving through the best Universal. Gets swallowed up, however, by Novelist and Johnny Mercer. From the back of the field, Hillstar stays on. Cirrus de Vega caught very flat-footed and out in front. Novelist for Germany again. 5 to 6 lengths clear from Trading Leather. Then back in third, Hillstar and Cirrus de Vega. But another success in the King George for the resurgent international German force of racing. Novelist won the King George easily.
We'll hear more from Group 1 winning jockey, multiple Group 1 winning jockey Johnny Mercer a little bit later on in our preview. He's got such a good record in the big races. He's having a dream season. He'll be hoping for more of the same at Glorious Goodwood, which isn't too far away now. And in celebration of one of the summer's key festivals, Glorious Goodwood have created the Great Goodwood Punch. It's the height of summer, and that means only one thing: great weather and great racing, and festival season rolls on. We've come down to the West End of London and the Savoy Hotel for the official launch of Glorious Goodwood 2013. We're joined by Tom Walker, who's the bartender here. You're going to take us through the cocktail that will be on offer at Glorious Goodwood.
It's called the Great Goodwood Punch. It's quite a simple drink. It's gin-based, and for this kind of weather, it's absolutely perfect as well.
Well, obviously, it's not a fair fight if I take you on making a cocktail, because you might have a slight head start on that. So propping up the bar is Glorious Goodwood ambassador and Racer UK's Hayley Turner. Hayley, hello.
Hello.
Do you come here often?
Only once or twice a week.
Yeah. So Hayley Turner's come over to the other side of the bar because we're going to try our hand now at the Great Goodwood Punch. Tom is still here and he's going to be overseeing the proceedings, but let's get underway. Start with the cheapest.
So what is this?
That sugar syrup you've got there,
I've forgotten what I've put in. Is this the sugar syrup?
that is the sugar syrup, yeah.
So what are you judging on? Technique's gone out the window.
Generally, who entertains me the most is. It's good that there's no customers in the bar that would be wondering why the drinks haven't quite come out
Give
yet.
them a discount.
Where's the
I've done
elderflower?
lemon, I've
The
done
other
sugar.
flower's just there.
That's that.
The big, that's the one. You need 20 of that.
Can I tip this in somewhere? Is there the sink? Rhubarb juice.
You guys aren't working the bar at Goodwood, right?
Depends how Racing UK whether they keep me on, but I might be looking
Yeah.
for work soon.
So
My
it
first
might
ever
take a
job was in a bar. I didn't learn much, I don't think, but I was too busy reading the Racing Post. Who do you think's leading at the moment?
I don't think it's a case of who's winning. It's who's.
Who's not losing?
Yeah.
Do I put ice in that?
Yeah. It helps make the drink colder and mix everything together. Shall I give it a quick taste and see how you get it?
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. Oh,
Whoa. Sorry.
that's good. Put apple juice in. There you go. Okay.
Is that okay? Is
That
that
is fine,
enough?
absolutely fine, however you feel comfortable. You just need the top now, yeah? To
Got the ice. It felt a bit light, but I haven't done the flare yet.
Holy moly.
Is that all right?
Absolutely fine, great. Totally fine. You can pour it out if you'd like. It's there you go. That's an incredible colour difference. Even if that 50 quid had gone in my pocket, I don't know if it would have been enough. That's all I'm saying.
This is the Great Goodwood Punch.
What's left in there? Lovely
Sorry,
colour.
this is the Great Goodwood Punch.
Lovely colour. Good. Maybe shake it a little bit harder so you get the foam in it like with this one.
Okay.
I'm interested to try this one.
I'll be honest as well. Don't- It's really good.
Wow, you can really taste the gin in that. Got to give it to the lady.
Yes! Get in.
Do you know what? I've lost
First
twice now.
Glorious Goodwood winner.
I lost the bake-off and now I've lost the shake-off. Not going well, this.
Quite a record you're getting there.
The condescending pats really sort of won it for me. Thanks for your time, Tom. Good luck
Pleasure.
at
Thank you very
Goodwood,
much.
Hayley. And no, that's fascinating. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
I still haven't quite got over the fact that I've lost, but anyway, let's not dwell on it. We'll move on. Well done to Hayley Turner, who beat me in the Great Goodwood Shake-Off. And if you are heading to Glorious Goodwood, then the pop-up bar will be serving the Great Goodwood Punch. I strongly advise having a taste of it. It's very, very good. In other news, recently it was announced that Michael Owen, who's secured 89 caps for England in an illustrious football career, well, he's just been made an official ambassador for the British Champion Series. And recently I headed to Manor House Stables to catch up with Michael and find out about his passion for racing. From your point of view, Michael, what was the sort of deciding factor about, right, we want to expand? What was it? I mean, you've got the bug, you've had the bug as a racing fan for years. You've been a massive fan, but was it becoming more of a business now from your point of view?
Well, the business was almost working, and I can, I can justify the number of horses that we've got to go and have a crack at it. Really, it was a when I look back, a big move at the time, because as we all know, it's not just about building and buying a place and all the rest of it. But then a lot of the time you've got to fund the the ongoing costs, the horses that you're going to have in training. So it's a bit like buying a Premier League team. People expect that's it then, but then the fans expect you to go and
you didn't
shove
think
another
about
100 million
a
and
Premiership team, did you?
Well, I've probably done the next worst. But no, it was such a passion. It's something that I knew my life was going to be, spent doing something like this and having the pleasure of owning something like this. And I decided that's what I want to do.
Did you then think, well, I don't know how long I've got left as a Premiership footballer or as a professional footballer, so I want to expand the project so that when I do retire, I've got something in place, like my hobby's in place, it's where I want it to be. Was it as early as back then, or was that completely unrelated, the football side of it and the racing side of it wasn't related?
Yeah, it was something that I knew I wanted, or I was going to have as a passion for the rest of my life. That was it. So I wanted to make it the best I could, basically. you know, going forward, I always knew that, you know, working or whatever, it'll always stay in football. That's where, you know, my expertise lies really, whether it's talking about it, playing it, or whatever it might be. This was always going to be my passion and my hobby, and it was never intended to be somewhere where it's going to make me money, or it was a you know, an investment or anything like that. I know this costs money, this game, but it's something that I love, and I'm prepared to stomach that cost, and I'll earn my money elsewhere, basically.
Thanks once again to Michael and the team at Manor House Stables for their time, and a fascinating setup, a really forward-thinking training centre where Brown Panther is trained, and he will be heading to Glorious Goodwood to run in the Goodwood Cup. So very best of luck to Brown Panther and all concerned. Glorious Goodwood, 5 days of great racing. It's coming up very soon. 5 days of great racing coming your way from Glorious Goodwood, and once again the highlight is the Sussex Stakes. Following some epic Sussex Stakes in the past, recently Frankel against Camford Cliffs. It was dubbed as the Duel on the Downs. Well, this year we have the Duel on the Downs Part 2. In 2010, Camford Cliffs capped off a spectacular season with a sensational win in the Sussex Stakes, prompting his trainer, Richard Hannon, to name him as the best horse he had ever trained.
Camford Cliffs now appears on the outside, and he'll get there, and cleverly too.
In the same year, however, we saw the emergence of the horse that would come to dominate the world of racing. He was, of course, the mighty Frankel.
He's 3 or 4 lengths clear, a fantastic colt. Frankel wins the Dewhurst.
Spin the clock forward a year, and these two equine superstars arrived at Glorious Goodwood with a haul of 8 Group 1 wins between them. The stage was set for their first meeting in the QIPCO Sussex Stakes. This was to be the ultimate battle to determine the best horse in the world. This was to be the Duel on the Downs.
And they're off and racing.
The result was never in doubt, and as they entered the closing stages, Frankel's class was clear to see. He went on to claim victory in imperious fashion, breaking the heart of Camford Cliffs.
And now Frankel for the first time is shaken up. Camford Cliffs in second place, over a furlong out. Frankel's acceleration is instant. Can Camford Cliffs, who's drifting left, reel in his rival? No, a decisive no. Frankel, unbeaten, utilises that turn of foot to devastating effect and wins the QIPCO Sussex Stakes. What a brilliant horse!
"2013 has seen a new rivalry emerge to mirror that historic battle and set up the Duel on the Downs Part 2, Dawn Approach against Toronado. Dawn Approach promised to be the superstar of this classic generation, but shocked us all with a bizarre outing in the Derby. However, Godolphin's racing manager Simon Crisford is happy to forget that run.
Even if they'd gone a normal 1.5 mile pace at Epsom, he would have still been pulling too hard, and you know, the pace was slow, which made it exasperated the problem, but I think even normal 1.5 mile pace would be a disaster. So a mile is his trip. We sort of knew that going into the Derby, but a mile is his trip. He's luckily it didn't leave any mental scars, and providing he's got you know, a decent, honest pace, doesn't have to be suicidal, but just a good building pace, then he settles well enough. And you know, as you said, he's got the right attitude. He really fights, and he's a battler, and he's top class.
Toronado has had praised heaped upon him by the Hannon Hughes team, but has failed to get the better of his rival on 2 previous meetings, the latest coming at Royal Ascot.
Toronado the grey, Dawn Approach the blue colours, very tight between them, they're going to hit the line very close.
It was close, but Richard Hannon Jr. thinks there's still unfinished business.
We got pretty close last time, and I felt we were slightly unlucky. And to Dawn Approach's credit, though, he stuck his head out, and we actually headed him. And he looks a very brave horse and an extremely hard horse to beat. So it's going to be a great race. We're not confident of beating him at all, but we think we've got a very good chance of giving him a very good race. And if we can beat him, that would be a great day.
Both horses are top class, first division milers. This race will decide the championship, 3-year-old colt over that distance. You know, we've beaten Toronado twice. No reason why we can't beat him for a third time.
Third time lucky?
put it this way, I haven't really enjoyed the Tornado Dawn Approach competition so far. It's been a bit of a whitewash, but yeah, we're very confident in our horse's ability. We always have been, and we're just hopeful that he can show you guys the same as he shows us.
It promises to be a real epic on the Downs, because Dawn Approach and Tornado meeting once again for the third time in their careers. And currently it's Dawn Approach 2, Tornado 0. Let's see what faces them at Glorious Goodwood for the QIPCO Sussex Stakes. They start at the furthest point away from the track from the stands. The mile start buried underneath the bushes. A rise early, up a hill to begin with for the first 3 furlongs. 5 furlongs to go and they start to make the bend into the straight. With 4 furlongs to go, they are now in the home straight, and you'll see a slight camber from left to right. 2 furlongs out, Dawn Approach and Tornado locked horns at Royal Ascot. Will they be doing the same at Glorious Goodwood? Whatever the outcome, the Sussex Stakes should be something very special. We're going to move on to the long distance category now, and the Goodwood Cup was won last year by Sadler's Rock, who was ridden by Johnny Murtagh, and he is a man that knows the Glorious meeting very well.
Goodwood. You know, it's kind of a specialised track. You either handle it or you don't. It's tricky, ground falls away from you a little bit, you need good balance. You need a bit of luck. If you go down the inside, you need them to open up. So you can look, Goodwood is one of these tracks, you can look very good or you can look very bad. And on a couple of occasions I've had good run there. I think one year I rode 8 winners there. But other years I went there with a few fancied horses and you wouldn't even see the ground. Just no room, nowhere to go. Goodwood is, you know, it's called Glorious Goodwood. It is. And you walk in, it's just class from start to finish. You know, everybody's there in their Panama hats. Goodwood is a real, but you need a sun. When it rains, it puts a damper on it. But there's some big races there, and they're the ones I want to be winning.
And is there a way to ride the track, because it's quite an idiosyncratic track?
I like to have no plan in Goodwood.
Right.
There's no plan. Just go with the flow, and you want to be seeing the gaps a half a furlong before they're going to open, because you know it can be. Go with the flow. I suppose it's easy if you're up on the pace, because you don't have anyone to worry about. But sometimes to go fast there, when you turn in, it's 3.5 furlongs to go, so you can get pushed a little bit fast, a little bit quick, too early. So I find as soon as them gates open, just ride it on feel. You know, on the long distance races, you switch to the left, you switch back to the right. So you need certain horses that will adapt and will act. But there's no certain way. You can win from the back, you can win from the front, you can win from the middle. It's just very important the last furlong and a half that you get a clear run.
And you've had some great days there at this meeting, like Peeping Fawn, Yates, Sadler's Rock last year was fantastic win.
Well, we were disappointed after Ascot, and we really thought he had a chance. You know, fast ground. He was one that loved the track. You know, things like that would really light him up, and he done great. Remember Henry the Navigator beat John Gosden's horse there in the Sussex.
Ravens Pass.
Yeah, that was a great race. You know, it was a great race. Peeping Fawn. I've won all the big races there. So I hope I can pick up a few spares this year and do the same again.
So let's take a look at the standings then for the long distance category in the British Champion Series, and we can see that Simonon is on top. Simonon was just behind Estimate at Royal Ascot, but Simonon has a point lead from Estimate and Top Trip, who both have a ranking of 114, but Simonon holds sway for Willie Mullins at the top of the rankings for the long distance category. What we're going to do now on this QIPCO British Champion Series preview is take a look at the contenders for this year's Goodwood Cup.
Mount Athos drifting across as Spencer lets him lean across to the near side running rail. Mad Moose is giving game chase, but Mount Athos is well in command here, surging down the home straight on the Rudy, and Mount Athos hard held with Spencer sitting motionless. The Globetrotter is back, and back in style. Mount Athos wins the Boodles Diamond Ormond Stakes. Furlong and a half to go in the Yorkshire Cup, and Glenn's Diamond is still rolling on in front. Top Trip, though, is within a half length, throwing down a stern challenge. Royal Diamond is 2 lengths back. Quizmistress can't go on. Glenn's Diamond with Top Trip coming alongside, eyeballing in. Glenn's Diamond sticks his nose out. Top Trip fighting hard on the far side. The line is looming. Couldn't separate them.
The whip is now up on Brown Panther, but he's attacking and he's going past Suviantois. It is Brown Panther by 2 lengths, steadily drawing on to Suviantois. Main Sequence has run most disappointingly in 3rd place. Brown Panther on the far side rail, leading by 2.5 lengths. Kingscote looks round. He rode his 4th Royal Ascot winner earlier in the week. Today, reunited with a horse that gave him his first.
The last race we're going to take a look at is the Nassau Stakes, and it's another chance for the fillies and mares to lock horns. We've built up the matchup between Dawn Approach and Toronado as Duel on the Downs Part 2. But there's another duel that meets again at Goodwood that's developed through the course of the season, and that is that of Just the Judge taking on Sky Lantern. At the moment, Sky Lantern holds a 2-0 advantage, but this time, in contrast to previous races, this time the race will be run over 1.25 miles, and it's a first try at that trip for Sky Lantern, but also for Just the Judge, and trainer Charlie Hills is hoping it's 3rd time lucky. So Charlie, it's Goodwood on the horizon and a few firsts coming Just the Judge's way. First try at Goodwood, first race against the Elders, first try over 1.25 miles. Was that always the plan for you to eventually step her up to 1.25 miles?
It was really, yeah, absolutely. It's been a plan to pretty much come for the Nassau since Ascot. I know Jamie's very much looking forward to riding her over this trip. She's got an action that really suggests that she would certainly be better over 1.25 miles.
Let's talk through, if we can, her season so far. Very good run in the 1,000 guineas in her comeback. Then she won really well in Ireland. What happened at Royal Ascot last time out?
Well, obviously, it's her 3rd run in 6 weeks. She just got caught a little bit wide, from that wide draw. We tried to be positive, and she never really got on an even keel. We just found like she just kept on getting knocked to sort of the middle of the track. But saying that, I think probably cost us 2nd for sure, and we've just freshened her up now, and we're obviously very pleased with her training up to now.
How did she come out of Ascot, the build up to Goodwood?
She came out of Ascot good. She's always quite a fresh filly anyway. So you just got to be careful she doesn't get too fresh, really. But saying that, she's been ticking over. She's done 2 nice bits of work now. Jamie came down yesterday to ride her and was very happy with her. So obviously looking forward to running her next week. You get a £9 allowance, which will certainly help, and it looks a good step for her.
And Goodwood is a unique track in many ways. It's quite idiosyncratic in its nature. Do you think she'll handle it? Do you have any concerns there?
The only concern we do have is the ground. If it gets too quick, we'll certainly have a look. If it is too quick, we'll have to wait, I think, and look for another race elsewhere. But all being well, Seamus does a very good job there. The weather looks quite unsettled, I think, next week, but we're obviously going to keep an eye on the ground.
We won't go into the box, but if I can you just explain to those at home watching sort of the physical makeup of her, what stands her out, what sets her apart from the rest?
I just think, she looks such a beautifully balanced filly. Got great hindquarters, great shoulder to her, good conformation, good limbs, and above all, a great attitude,
There's talk about the Duel of the Downs, Toronado against Dawn Approach. People are forgetting that Just the Judge is going to be taking on Sky Lantern again.
Well, I know, well, it's 2-0 at the moment to Sky Lantern, so we need to try and do something about that. But it's not just going to be her in the race, you also got the Fugue as well, so hopefully, like I say, if the ground's good and we can take our chance, it looks to be a great race. Mark, do you want to just bring her and just walk her up and down once?
It's 2-0 over 1 mile.
That's right, yeah.
It's the first time you'll be taking on Sky Lantern over 1.25 miles. Do you think that is going to be the making of Just the Judge in terms of reversing the form with Sky Lantern?
I think so. I know Jamie is very, very confident. As soon as he steps up in trip, it's going to really play into her hands. So you've got to be positive and think that we can beat her.
She appears to have come out of her race bouncing from Newmarket, and we're keen to see if we can go 1.25 miles with a look at the Breeders' Cup turf, fillies and mares. So we'd like to just try it before we go there.
I saw her in Newmarket the other day and she looked an absolute picture.
Yeah,
Physically, she's gorgeous type, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a beautiful looking filly now, and I haven't ever seen a filly in our place that's done so well from 2 to 3, and she's continued to do well throughout the year, and that's why we were going to think about giving her a rest, but she continues to go from strength to strength physically, and she's come out of the race bucking and squealing.
Another great matchup to look forward to over the course of the next 5 days. Sky Lantern against Just the Judge, but it's a very competitive field. Here are the contenders for the Nassau.
Just the Judge moves through the press, winning Express. Then on the far side, Sky Lantern. Moth's had a troubled passage, is now out in the clear. It's Just the Judge on the stand side, Sky Lantern between the pair, winning Express. Snow Queen thundering home with Maureen. Just the Judge, Sky Lantern. Over the top they go for the line, McGuinness. Sky Lantern. Richard Hughes wins the British Classic. Moment in time, still running on wide of Souvientois. Down to the last furlong they come. Prussian nosed ahead, but Nymphia is battling back strongly. Moment in time comes to join him on the near side. Moment in time and Nymphia move on together as Prussian welts out of it. Moment in time, Nymphia fighting hard, but moment in time, times it right. The Fugue is pulled out, but Timepiece is still out in front. Is he top? The Fugue is, however, staying on strongly. Was his rallying, and the Fugue, a blistering turn of foot, carries her to the front, and she wins the Markel Insurance Nassau Stakes in dominant fashion.
So that's it on this week's QIPCO British Champion Series preview, and that should be enough to keep us entertained over the next 5 days. Great matchups, great racing, great setting, and hopefully, fingers crossed, great weather. It's going to be a cracking Glorious Goodwood 2013, as it was in 2012. We'll see you soon. Take care.
12 out of 12, Frankel dismisses his rival. Frankel, yes! Television in pursuit, but Sadler's Rock will grind it out and win the Artemis Goodwood Cup.
An immaculate ride, and the Fugue wins the Nassau.